So, feminism has reared its ugly, fat, hairy-assed head again, and it has shot itself in the foot. How? Well, the film that they were championing as the first of many female-led action films to make money is being torn down by some hateful bitch who writes for Slate magazine. I don't even know if Slate's a magazine. It's a shitty website. I tried going through their archives. Couldn't really do it because my sanity wouldn't allow myself to go through this bullshit. Side note, I once tried to read some feminist website and I about got cancer. It was the most... It was just mind-numbingly stupid that the people that read this shit were like sympathizing and supporting the thoughts and ideas. It's stupid, okay? And when that kind of bullshit stupidity leaks into the world of entertainment, I'm here to criticize it. So, this article was posted on Age of Shitlords, which, while it sounds like a very trolly type of website, and it can be, there are some nuggets of truth in there, so if you can weed through their bullshit, you're going to find a lot of gold. So this comes from the Age of Shitlords article. In a time when Wonder Woman is being hailed as a female icon and receiving so many positive reviews from both critics and viewers, one feminist found reason to hate the movie. Side note, what a fucking surprise. Christine Cauterucci, a writer for Slate, argues that Wonder Woman fails as a feminist movie because of the superheroine's sex appeal. According to her, Wonder Woman is often described in the movie as the most beautiful woman they have ever seen by other characters, and she gets stares from men almost everywhere she goes. According to her, this is problematic. Side note, is it problematic because you're ugly and no one treats you like this? Yes, it is. Your insecurities don't ruin a film. Fuck you. Here we go. These are her words. To me, whatever chance Wonder Woman had of being some kind of feminist antidote to the overabundance of superhero movies made by and for bros was blown by its prevailing occupation with the titular heroine's sex appeal. Side note again, if only men went to see these movies wouldn't be making $1 billion. When I go see Guardians or Avengers or any of these other ones, I see women there too, in costume, dressed up. Just because it's not Gamora and the Guardians of the Galaxy or the Black Widow starring the Avengers, doesn't mean that it doesn't appeal to everybody, alright? My mom likes Batman. The word man is in the fucking name. What's your fucking excuse? Back to the article, and I use that phrase loosely. Characters frequently note that Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, who goes by Diana in the film, is the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Side note, she was very attractive. Not my body type that I like, but whatever, she was hot. Her male companions in the fight against Germany's World War I forces drew behind her back at the notion that somewhere there may be an island full of women who look like her with no men in sight. Side note, you're at war. You could die, and you're not gay. That's every guy's fantasy. I know in a perfect world for you, Christina, it would be a bunch of fat, hairy chicks who are really bitchy and they really don't do much because all they want to do is sit on Tumblr and complain. That to you is Paradise Island. Well, guess what? It's not Paradise Island to the men in the film, or the woman who directed it, or the dude who created Wonder Woman. I'm not going to go there yet. Back to the article. When she walks into a room, even dressed in a plain gray suit and a bowler hat instead of her usual armored leotard, men go silent and stare. I'm both frightened and aroused, goes one character's response to Diana's ass-kicking moves, prompting one audience's loudest and longest laugh at the screening I attended. Side note. A good-looking woman in anything is still a good-looking woman. Sorry they didn't, put her in a fat suit to make her look like the secretary. Maybe you should be more concerned with the secretary and not Wonder Woman. I mean, just go watch the movie Secretary with Maggie Gyllenhaal, and don't bother people like me. Back to Age of Shitlords. It gets worse. She also thinks that the movie is homophobic. Side note to me. No. Back to Age of Shitlords. I can't even see the logic here. The love story in Wonder Woman also seems positioned as no homo response to the heroine's inherently queer backstory. Diana was raised on a hidden island that contains only women, some of them fairly jacked and butch of center. I don't even know what butch of center means. And I went to college. I have a degree in communications. That is never a phrase I've heard of. A few hours after she meets the film's leading man, Chris Pine, as American spy Steve Trevor, Diana lets slip that she has learned men are integral to reproduction, but unnecessary for the purpose of pleasure. Truth drop! That was the only heavy-handed feminist joke in the movie, and at the screening I went to in, Everyday America, where our heads aren't up our asses, no one really laughed. There was a couple chuckles. The dick joke was probably the biggest laugh that my theater got. And yet, just a couple days into their jaunt to stop Germans from employing a new chemical weapon, He's shutting himself into hotel rooms, presumably so they can do sex things. No, that's not really what fucking happened in the movie. They just saved a town, and they had a little bit of a rest, and they decided to sleep together because they're attracted to each other, and that's what normal people do. When a man and a woman are into each other and they want to get it on, they do. They don't sit down and look at each other and pull out forms for consent and talk about all this other bullshit. They just fuck. That's how you were born, okay? I'm sorry it sounds down and dirty and gross, but that's how you were created. Your stupid ideals were created by people that were created by fucking, okay? Everyone with this small minority of test tube babies, 99.9% of people that have ever been born, probably even a higher number than that, were created through fucking. I'm sorry that offends you. Diana is so clueless about men, human activity, and the basic concept of manipulation and evil that her capacity for consent is somewhat blurry. She's a fucking superhero. They know what she can do. And at no point in the movie does she impose her superpowers on Steve Trevor and the rest of the soldiers. That's what I liked about this fucking movie. She acted as a normal person. She didn't put herself on this pedestal. She wanted to fight evil. And she would do whatever she had to do to get there. Steve Trevor can't take advantage of her. What the fuck is he gonna do? Nothing. She can throw a fucking tank. Okay? She can deflect a dick if she wanted to. But she didn't want to because the characters were attracted to each other. Again, sorry that doesn't happen to you, but your shitty fucking attitude could turn any man off. She can't even understand why Trevor thinks that it would be improper for them to sleep in the same bed when they've just met. Because he was trying to do the fucking right thing, alright? The thing that you people want so much, Steve Trevor was trying to do, he's now being called out on it. I guess, you know, chivalry is dead to you, but guys still try to do the right thing, hold the door, all this other shit, but oh no, that's sexist. So what you really want is you want people to get up on your shit, slam doors in your face, and smack you around. Fucking idiot. Diana's naivete and innocence are crucial to the film's moral thrust, but they cast her sexual relationship in a shiftier light. I'm a guy. I don't mind gratuitous sex scenes, never have. I thought they handled Wonder Woman quite classy. You know, it was less showy than a James Bond movie. It was implied that you knew what was going on, and she has said in the film that she knew what it was. She read some book, the 7 books of something that explained the entire process of sex. It's not like Steve Trevor took advantage of a little girl and kind of forced himself on her. No, she's a many hundreds of, I don't know how old Wonder Woman is, thousands of year old immortal who can do anything she wants to do, and she chose to sleep with him. So lady, I'm so sorry that that shit happened to a fictional character and not you. Back to Age of Shitlords. Since a feminist's work is not done without nitpicking, she concludes the article by complaining about Wonder Woman's clothing, the shape of her nipples, and the fact that the movie wasn't feminist woke. Again, went to college, graduated on the dean's list. I don't know what the phrase feminist woke means. I know what it means to awake, or to be like the Force Awakens. I understand what that means, but I don't know what feminist woke means. This is probably some bullshit, but whatever. She also complains that the movie doesn't pass the Bechdel test. There weren't enough women in the movie. Well, there was an island of women in the beginning. A fucking island of them. And they were awesome. Not once did I go, this feels heavy-handed and preachy. And if you listen to this channel, you know how I get about that shit. Alright? I am watching that shit very closely because I don't want excuses. I want to be able to the best of my ability, judge something fairly. And I'm not going to use my emotions on feminism to say, oh, there's not enough women in this movie. There's a whole fucking island of them. And they were fine. They did a good job. And a side note, World War I wasn't fought by many women. World War I was the trench war and the mustard gas and all that shit. You don't really hear stories of these heroic women doing shit in war. World War II, you had women on the home front fighting, but not in World War I. Completely different thing. So, Christina Calderucci, you need to get your facts on history straight, because your opinions and feelings aren't as important as the facts of how a war was fought. That was the goal of Wonder Woman, the film, to portray World War I accurately to a degree, while being entertaining, and put her in the scenario to bring love to the war. And bringing love to the war sounds lame on paper, but it wasn't. It was not lame. But let's get back to Christina's final point, because I don't know, I'm starting to get sick reading her bullshit. Perhaps I was too distracted by the figure skater dress Diana wears for most of the film, sculpted with tiny bumps for apparently her ever-erect nipples. You know, bat nipples get made fun of because they're a joke. You're actually genuinely upset by this. To applaud heavy-handed lines like, "What I do is not up to you," that gesture towards female empowerment. Well, I'm sorry that a titty is more important to you than the lines of dialogue. Now, for me, tits are more important than lines of dialogue in certain films. And I like boobs. I'm a boob man. But I didn't even notice the sculpted nipples on Wonder Woman's suit. I mean, it was a suit of armor designed by women for optimal comfort and battle-ready protection. So, sorry? I wondered why I'd come to this movie expecting some energizing woke feminist manifesto. Again, what the fuck does woke feminism mean? I don't get it. Instead, the film stars one sexy woman surrounded by throngs, sorry, my mind's going somewhere else, throngs of horny men barely passing the Bechdel test after the opening scene on Diana's home island. I guess you've never paid attention to how shit has gone, okay? Your feelings and emotions are more important than historical facts. So I'm going to put out some of my feelings and emotions. You're a fucking idiot. You are the worst thing to ever happen to pop culture critique. You don't have any valid criticism of this film. Oh, her boobs were, her nipples were erect, possibly under a suit of armor. Who the fuck cares, alright? Who the fuck cares? Oh, there weren't enough women in the movie. It takes place in World War I. Again, I'm repeating myself. There weren't many women on the fucking trenches, if any. Be glad your ass doesn't have to go to fucking war. If anything, if we wanted to lose a war in America, we should send all these people that bitch about shit like this on the internet. They'll get wiped out in a day and we'll lose the fucking war and we'll be done. No, strong women aren't on the internet bitching that Gal Gadot is sexier than you are. Real chicks are out there fighting in the military, doing the right thing at the home front, working, doing this shit. Your job as a fucking critic or writer or whatever the fuck you classify yourself as is a goddamn joke. You're not funny, so you're not a comedian. You don't serve any good purpose to society. All you do is bitch and complain. People like you are the cancer of entertainment, and that is why we have to sit through bullshit like Ghostbusters reboot last year. That stupid movie that looks like I'm never going to see, but it looks terrible. Rough Night with Scarlett Johansson and the ugly chick from 22 Jump Street. Shit like that. All you people do is prop up bad fucking movies for an agenda and shit on stuff that is well-meaning or better than anyone expected. Like me, I thought Wonder Woman was going to just do $60 million and kind of disappear. Made $100 million. I do expect it to just kind of disappear because of the competition in the next couple weeks. But overall, it was a much better film than I thought. And you can listen to my comments and review of it over on this channel. But back to you, lady. Please, stop talking about pop culture. No one takes you as an authority. No one gives a fuck about what you have to say. The only thing you're good for are videos like this where I can make fun of your stupid ass, because even within your own arguments do you show weaknesses. So I gave Wonder Woman a 6 out of 10. If I'm grading this article, I'm giving you a 0 because you suck. You're fucking garbage. If you like this little rant, thanks for listening. I got on a tangent, but it's what I do. That's what World Class Bullshitters does. We take pop culture, we discuss the stupid aspects of it, and we rip it apart. I'm not some angry white guy in a basement, because I'm not white and I'm not in a basement. I'm not just some angry dude that's bitching to bitch, alright? I have a genuine, valid complaint with people like her that are ruining our entertainment, because people like her are influential to people that are lower in the studio system. And then those people are so passionate about a cause that eventually that shit gets its way to the top. Look at Amy Pascal and her racist ass. She was able to make it to the top of her game, and then last year we were stuck with the Ghostbusters reboot, which was complete garbage. Look at Kathleen Kennedy with Lucasfilm. She came in back in the day, and she was a smaller part of the greatest movies of all time. Now that she has her foot on top of the fucking mountain, she is ruining Star Wars. Star Wars is now an agenda-driven piece of shit. No characters that are women in those new movies actually work for what they do. They are given everything, and it's garbage. So that's what happens when you get this agenda-driven bullshit that infiltrates entertainment. It ruins it, and it brings it down to a level that it's just dumber entertainment. It's not dumb like funny dumb or like haha, I'm laughing at it. No, it tricks people into making them think that this is smart, insightful entertainment. But it's just fucking garbage created by insecure people. I'm the host of World Class Bullshitters, and we will be back this Thursday night with a podcast. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, tell me in the comments below why you hated it. Also, tomorrow, if you're a Star Wars fan, I got a big video on Star Wars. 40 minutes of something we've never done before, and something I would almost guarantee have never seen. So thanks for watching, and we will be back later with more.